your host. I'm Brett Martin. I'm the co-founder of Fonzi AI. Basically, the premise is that we get really amazing IC engineers from a couple companies that you've heard of, a couple companies that you haven't, and they come here to give technical talks about how they're using AI in their daily work. Shared space, it's a place to learn and make friends.
In healthcare domain, it's a little different than a normal speech problem. It's because of various reasons. There is a medical terminologies involved in it, and also background noise that happens in emergency care and so on. So the setting is really different than a normal setting that we use. And also there's a diverse sense that we should support around the world. Once you start speaking, the front end and the back end streams to certain models, WAD, which is responsible for identifying when you stop uttering. And then once it identified end of utterance, it sends to a speech model. Then it transcribes it, right? Usually verbatim, whatever you say transcribes. And then there is an NLP and NLU stack that tries to understand what you said. For example, call Bobby. It will identify call as an intent. And then it will also try to fill the slots back and then send back to the response, right? And then your phone reacts. You need human side-by-side evals, right? Ask experts to give them certain ratings, 0 to 5 or 0 to -5, how well your model is performing. I suggest doing it from day one. If you don't do, you have to go back and start again from scratch.
So foundation models exist because essentially, particularly in same domain and same modalities, most of the underlying structures of data is pretty much similar. But given the nature of how teams are built, or basically how tasks are actually constructed, you end up learning these representations. Everyone basically thinks that you kind of start throwing data at a foundational model, and then essentially it will learn something, and we'll start using it. It doesn't work that way. The human intuition is still there. Feature exploration is very much an domain expertise nature, essentially. Basically make sure that every single event, even if the user basically signs out 10,000 times in a platform, keep it. That's fine. We'll figure out whether it's required or not later, but don't lose the data point. That's the major point here.
Building is easy, evaluating is the tough part, right? And the important thing to ask yourself when you're building these agents is how confident you are that you're going to put this agent autonomously, that's going to do your tasks, that's going to work for you, but not embarrass you. And how do you go about assessing the quality of the agents to make sure that it does the right thing? And the golden standard today, you saw from both the talks, is human evaluation. But human evaluation doesn't scale. Can you imagine actually writing evaluation data sets for each and every use case? The idea is that because LLM, today's foundation models are built on corpus of data that incorporates a lot of human intuition. So taking that particular further, the research paper sort of talked about, the thing you can actually do is instead of having a human evaluate each and every response from the query, you give that query with the criteria that you care about and give it to another LLM judge that spits out two things.